Okay, so we're taking a look inside, and Mark is going to explain to us a little bit about how an electric car runs in detail. So, over to you.
So we have the power comes up from the battery, up to the unit. It's then converted from DC to AC so that the motor and the air conditioning can use it. As the battery goes down and then you recuperate, the energy coming back up is AC.
And that comes into which?
Into this unit here.
Okay.
Up these cables here.
Yeah.
That then goes from AC and gets converted to DC, back to DC so it can charge the batteries.
Right.
And then we have a DC-DC converter so that we can go from the high voltage to the 12-volt system and charge the 12-volt system as well.
All right, so that's to keep the lights and things running.
To keep the lights, your radio and your comforts. This is
okay.
only alive when the ignition's turned on and you're ready to go.
Okay.
The control module underneath is the bit that controls the charging.
Right, I got you.
For the actual batteries. Looks after the batteries.
Yeah.
This looks after the running and then to make sure that it can get some power back to the battery.
So you store it as DC, use it as AC.
So this is the batteries underneath the up. We have a control module for the batteries here, which balances out the batteries in the charger and the charge state and make sure that the charge is evened out across all the different cells within the units here.
Because it's important for all the cells to get charged when you plug it in rather than just one or two, so you balance it out to make sure...
They're balanced out to maintain the battery's long life and to make sure that there's not a strange cell or one cell going astray. With the up battery, it can actually be split down so individual cells can be changed on their own.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
providing that the other cells can take it, we can insert another cell if one cell goes down. Moving down to the front, we have the power takeoff up here from the batteries, which goes up to the converters up the top, which you can't actually see from underneath here.
Oh, this is the engine. This is the motor.
This is the motor. This part here is the air conditioning motor, which again works on the high voltage system.
Right.
This part here is the EV motor, your drive.
Right.
This part here is the gearbox. So just that part there is a single speed gearbox.
Well, small.
And then obviously you've got your drive shafts out to a conventional wheels and tyres.
It's all very compact, isn't it, at the front here?
Very compact. And the batteries are low down in the car, which gives us a lower centre of gravity. Your motor, air conditioning and gearbox do take slightly less maintenance. Obviously it's more of an electronics maintenance rather than a oil change.
Does that mean we're going to get rid of the greasy mechanics and replace them with geeks?
No, not at all.
I'd say that in the nicest possible sense, I would say. The E-Up has a couple of differences from other EVs we've tested it. First, it has 2 eco modes plus a B mode. The 2 eco modes really relate to the control of the air conditioning and the electronics to maximize your range. I've got at the moment 85 miles on the clock here, so they say it's supposed to be on paper around about 93 miles range from the battery, but as usual with EVs you'll probably find a lot of difference with that depending on the temperature, the weather conditions, the wind, etc. and your load. But anyway, yes, the 2 eco modes govern things like the aircon, and the B mode is fundamentally a braking mode. It gives you a regen power back into the batteries when you take your foot off the accelerator. And I've just been using it. I'm in B mode at the moment, and I've been using it for a while, and it really does feel significantly different to other EVs we've driven in terms of the braking effect. It's quite significant, and we noticed that this kind of strong regeneration where the brakes give back power to the batteries actually really does work. We noticed it on the Ford Focus EV, especially on a long trip we did down to Gatwick, which if you look at our review of that you'll see. The interesting thing I've noticed is that in B mode you barely need to touch the brakes. You literally just lifting off of the throttle is enough to, like, I'm not touching the brakes now and I'm braking. that's really quite impressive. It's a whole new way of driving, actually, to be able to manage the car's momentum really with just the right foot in everything except, well, I don't know actually. I wonder if I could get away with not actually using the brakes at all, just using the B mode. So yeah, that's, I've taken my foot off, and again it brakes significantly. Interesting development. The E-Up is very nicely appointed. I like the styling inside. As you can see, it's a Super Mini with some very nice room in the back. Typically German, you know. It's actually obviously a conversion from the original VW E-Up petrol version, but they've done it well. Apparently, I was told that this model was actually designed with electric in mind from the get-go. So things like the dash look very elegant, even though they're specifically geared to the two analog dials on either side are specifically geared to electrics. The one on the right being for the giving you an indication of the battery where the battery capacity is, and the one on the left being the amount of energy you're using at any one time. Other than that, it's fairly conventional. There's a key, not a push button start, and a standard automatic type gear lever. The only thing that gives it away really is the fact that it's got a B written on the bottom, which is the high regenerative mode for driving. But apart from that, front electric windows, slightly different from other EVs we've tested, in that you've got this kind of quite European rear window, not a wind down or an electronic. In the rear we have nice comfort with some fairly good leg room, fold down seats, not a huge rear compartment here for carrying, but enough to carry the week's shopping or a set of golf clubs or whatever. And under here, another sunken compartment for your treasure, or maybe just the charging cables. So not as large as some of the EVs we've tested. The driving position is fairly nice in this little car. The center console is very, very simple to understand. Car information, navigation, media and phone. So trip computer. Okay, they want these little trainer things to help you drive better, so you can get a better score. Media for controlling obviously the plugins and stuff that you have there. And phone for connecting up your Bluetooth phone. CD player. Very standard, lots of space for putting knickknacks and bits and pieces down the front here, and in the doors, obviously, in the little glove compartment. No profusion of buttons. That's one of the interesting things about this car. It's completely devoid of masses of buttons on the steering wheel, as we've seen with other EVs, which is a nice change, I think. To charge the car, you unlock it from the door and stick your socket or your cable in here. As you can see, this is a combi socket, the first I've seen in this country, which is the combination of the Type 2 but expanded, and this will be the standard, at least European, charge socket from the future, we think. Okay, so let's see what it's like. It's a straightforward acceleration from 0 to 45 very swiftly, no fuss, no muss. It's all on the road, very responsive. Another fun car to drive.